I've actually recovered. I've recovered.
All right, a beautiful Monday afternoon to you out there. And today's edition of The Buzz, as usual, promises to be something insightful, educative, and also interesting. So, Patience, too many things went
Yeah, so many things went down over the weekend, and it shows signs that our country is working. That's how I choose to look at it. Things
Yes,
are
it
working.
is.
All right, we're not alone on the show this afternoon. Joining us today, it's a pleasure to have him back on the show again. He's a renowned journalist with The Guardian. He was with The Guardian newspaper. He's a big man now. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Justin Akpobi here with us. Good afternoon, Mr. Akpobi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, all right. Well, I'm almost afraid of our table this afternoon. They are all big shots. All right, we have the only lady in the midst there, and I dare say she can stand her own ground, when it comes to national issues. She's a marketing and communications expert. It's a pleasure to have Esosa Osagede with us today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Yes, it's good to have you back. And of course, we have our regular Monday, Mr. Ikem Okuhu. He is a PR expert and a social commentator. Good afternoon, Mr. Ikem.
Yeah, good afternoon. And today is 30th of April.
Yeah.
Happy Workers' Day in advance.
In advance, yes.
Thank you.
For those who are not lazy Nigerian workers.
All right. Well, it's the last day of the month. A lot of things comes with the very last day in the month, but we hope the good part of it is what will be ours. Amen to that. Going straight into our program today, of course, we are all now conversant with the news emanating from our embattled Senator, Dino Melai. Last week, we all saw the drama that went down, with him being arrested, him jumping off the van and being hospitalized after all of that. And then, to cap it all, the issue of his recall came up again, and that took place over the weekend. And, well, we know how that panned out. Anyways, let's take this quick footage on Dino Melai's recall. When we come back, we'll start talking.
Total number of registered voters, 351,146. Total number of signatories to the petition, 189,870. Total number of signatories present at verification, 20868. Total number of signatories verified, 18742. Percentage of verified signatures, 5.34%. 5.34%. I, Professor Oketo Gabriel Moti, hereby affirm that the information on verification of signatures to the petition for the recall of Senator Dino David Melaye of Kogi West Senatorial District has taken place on this day, 28th day of April 2018, and that the verified signatures is 5.34% of the total number of registered voters in the constituency, and has therefore not satisfied the requirements of the law for referendum.
The recall of Honorable Dino Melaye, they have started from my local government, from my ward, from my hometown. I want to tell people that the reason why I want to recall Honorable Dino Melaye, the way his own attitude, the way he's behaved into nation.
The Constitution requires that we should submit a petition backed up with above 50% of the number of registered voters. The collection of the signatures has been done, and that is why those are the signatures, those are the documents and the bags you saw us taking in. Dino was entirely initiated and is being pursued by constituents of Kogi West Senatorial District. Haven't had enough of Senator Dino's unbearable utterances, conduct, and misbehavior, both in and out of the hallowed chambers of the National Assembly, coupled with his total disconnect from the people he claimed to represent. It is therefore a deliberate falsehood for anyone to allege that the initiators and instigators of the recall exercise are not from Kogi West.
Welcome back from that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the controversial recall of controversial Senator Melaye has finally come, and we all know the result. It failed according to the results announced by INEC. You know, it finally came after what became almost like a hide-and-seek game between INEC, the senator, and I don't know.
Just dragging.
Yes, it was dragged. But here we are. Let's start with you, Esosa. What's really your take, you know, on all of this?
I mean, look at how you described him, controversial senator, controversial recall. Do you need a recall to stop this embarrassment from continuing? When I saw the video last week and I saw all of the things that happened, I shook my head for this country. How is this kind of human being allowed to even go and be a senator representing a group of people, a constituency? It either shows the kind of people he's representing, or the fact that people can just buy their way into these things. Because I don't think any sensible, logical thinking individual would go and vote for this kind of person to, you know, represent him or her. And you can see, and from the interviews and from what we just saw, a lot more people want him recalled than the results that were announced.
But then people didn't come out on Saturday. People didn't come out.
I followed that, whatever. I followed the whole process. Yeah, the whole process.
Okay.
And I saw that people actually are frustrated, they are embarrassed, and they want this guy to be recalled. So I don't understand. Do they even need to go through this process? And I was asking someone over the weekend that is there no other powers to recall? This is a national embarrassment. It's not even for Kogi people. This man is a national embarrassment because people globally are watching and are seeing everything that he's always doing. He's either singing today, dancing tomorrow. Now he's jumping off vans. I mean, go and if your hands are clean, which is what I keep saying, go and just show up. Show up, make your statement or whatever it is that they want you to do,
get yourself out of
there. Get yourself out of there. What is all this brouhaha up and down for? Disturbing the whole nation because of one man. He's done. Dino has done enough. Personally, and even as a senator, every time we've heard about this name Dino Melaye, it's been roped with one controversy or the other. Are we not tired?
Mr.
Okay, all right, Mr. Ikem. Do you actually think the ill treatment, because to some people they actually felt he was not treated properly when he had to jump from a moving vehicle and other stuff, do you think that actually influenced why a lot of people didn't come out?
Okay.
Sentimentally speaking.
I was getting scared you were going to take me on a different tangent in terms of what I wanted to say about this.
Okay.
I don't think Dino had been treated differently from all other Nigerians that had been arrested. I saw the vehicle that he was in. It was a clean bus.
Yes.
You understand? So there is nothing that is discomforting in his circumstance that should make him jump from a vehicle and sit on the floor with red stockings and red shoe.
Spider-Man costume.
So he is just all drama. But my point on this whole thing, like I was mentioning to my friend Justin before we came in here, is that one, this thing is not a referendum on Dino Melaye. This thing may have become a stronger and bigger referendum on the governor of the state.
Of the state itself, okay.
If he could not muster the numbers to make this ineffective, then there are question marks on him as a governor. And unlike Jesus is saying, there are strict constitutional means and patterns of removing a senator. Short of assassinating him, the only way you can take him away from that place is by this constitutional means.
Yes.
So it is a referendum on the governor. In case he doesn't know, if he thinks that Dino, he was the person, this was for him to prove that he was in charge of the state. That the people didn't come out also shows the disconnect between them and their state government, the disconnect between them and governance in the country as a whole. They have a stake. They are the people Dino is representing. They are not happy with him, and yet they didn't come out to do the needful that will make sure that Dino is removed. And this is also an example of what happens everywhere in this country. We have become so impoverished that we have come to look at anything and everything around the electoral process as a transaction. Something must have to exchange, to be exchanged.
Something that can be
and I'm going to give you a very, very funny example of what happened in my community 2 weeks ago. I came late because I returned from my community that same day. One, there's a crisis between my people and the Reverend Father, and we needed to meet to take a decision. Two, on that same day, there was a chieftaincy election. They just created an autonomous community in my area, and we had to elect, as in vote, for the person who was going to be the chief. The people, the candidate the people wanted, eventually lost by 25 votes. Do you know why? He didn't have money. These guys sold land, did all that they did, and we're going around giving bag, do I call that a bag or sachets of salt?
Okay, sachets.
500 naira here, 1,000 naira here, 2,000 naira here, depending on the
kind of person
your stature.
Decides you up to bribe you.
And in the end,
I'm sure going by my stature, I would have gotten
a bag
a bag of rice.
that's what I'm saying. So Kogi people may not have seen the need to leave what they are doing in their farms and compromise one day of their
to have been a part of,
to appear there.
Yes.
So whatever Dino represented was not of such high value that will make them turn out.
All right, let's bring Justin into the conversation. So from everything Mr. Ikem has said, am I right if I say the fact that the recall failed doesn't necessarily give victory to Dino Melaye?
First of all, I want to disagree with Ikem because when he said it was, he made it sound like it was between the governor and Dino Melaye. I don't think we should view the issue from that angle.
Okay.
Yes, Dino Melaye over time has become a nuisance, but then it's, if his constituents wanted him recalled, they should have done that. So it also shows one big takeaway we should take from this episode, the last Saturday's episode, or that our democracy is growing. In the past, under a particular president, Dino Melaye wouldn't have survived that Saturday's recall. And you know that. I won't mention the name of the president. If under 2 presidents ago, Dino Melaye wouldn't have survived. It shows that our democracy is growing. And it also showed that the governor did not directly interfere, which is better for our society, which is better for our democracy. So the presidency that everybody was fingering that was behind Dino Melaye's travail, if the presidency wanted to intervene, to interfere, he wouldn't have survived. So it was not between Dino Melaye and the governor of Kogi.
Justin, let me come in.
Yes.
The bigger beneficiary of a Dino recall would have been the governor.
Yeah, but he shouldn't. It's
he
so
didn't
personal.
succeed. That 5-point-something% of 141,000 people turned out for verification, not even for casting of the ballot.
But you also have to understand, it came that in the heat of the moment when they were signing signatures, so many people signed several times. People who were not, okay, now I wanted to take Dino out, I'm desperate, I have to sign so many times to make it look like it was a unanimous decision by the constituents to take him out. Okay. So you have to also look at it from that angle. Now, the chiefs are down, or the chiefs were down. The real people should come outside and sign. Who were the real people? They didn't come out. Now we have this situation where we have like 18,000 out of 189.
89, yes. That's
okay?
5%.
So so many people signed in the heat of the moment because
of how they felt at that time.
At that time. Now this is the real deal, and they cannot.
So that sort of, sorry to butt in, sort of takes us back to what Alero insinuated, that maybe what happened to him recently could have mustered some sort of,
because so many people
sympathy.
felt that he
was mistreated.
He has so much on his plate already.
Okay.
He has so much on his plate already, and whether we take him out or he's going to meet his Waterloo.
And do you think that's pretty healthy for democracy?
Yes.
I struggle with what you say when you say this means our democracy is growing.
Yes.
I don't see this as growth. I see this, if in anything, as a backward movement.
How?
Because you have this individual who you have, nicely described as a nuisance.
Yes.
And I also hear what Mr. Ikem is saying. I see a governor. I am the governor of a particular state, but this guy, this Dino, continually is a clog in my will. Because the truth about it is, when you think of Kogi State, you think of Dino Milaye.
I don't even remember
the name of the governor. I have been struggling to know what is even his name. So this person remains a clog in his will.
His name is Yaya Bello.
He remains a clog in his will. He may not come out to mobilize people, but I mean,
it is not his call.
It is not his call. It is not his call to mobilize anybody. Yes. It is not his call. But I know that Mr. Ikem has educated me here to say that, okay, constitutionally, short of assassinating Dino, there are ways
or natural death.
Or natural death.
Yeah.
But I mean, this man remains a clog, a national nuisance, because Dino Milaye is bigger than. His situation is bigger than Kogi. Right now, I am embarrassed.
Can we look at his claims, though?
Everywhere in the world.
Can we look at his claims, though?
What are his claims?
The things he talks about, threat to his life, blah, blah, and all that.
I said,
you and I go through these things every day. God forbid that you are accused of something. The way they will bundle you out of here, the way they will toss you into some rickety. Look at the kind of transportation he got. Short of VIP. What are his claims? Show up and make a statement and leave. Nobody's. What if your hands are clean? They are clean.
Dino Milaye had his own reasons for not wanting to go back to Kogi. And
he felt his life was
his
reasons why you don't want to go back there.
Are not tenable in that circumstance because he's a suspect. And it's the right of the police to take you.
Yes,
if you are to be arraigned in court. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that you should be taken. You show yourself, and you'll be out on bail. As a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
he can afford it.
You'll be out on bail.
Immunity of some sort.
No, he doesn't have immunity, but then he can.
Of some sort. You know what I mean by of some sort.
Yes, kind of. But instead of all this drama he did. But don't let us derail this issue. The issue is about his recall, not about his ongoing case. Like Alero said, and I think I want to agree to some extent, that the people of his Kogi West, yes, and they said, okay, fine, he's going to meet his Waterloo up front.
Well, don't you think if he was out of the hospital then, and maybe was a free man, a lot of people would have thought he was the one that actually mobilized a lot of people, maybe sorted them out.
People can do that by proxy anyway. People can do that by proxy. He could have done that by proxy.
It's true.
He could have.
All right, Mr. Ikem, quickly.
If you also go to Kogi State, you should also see the dichotomy between the Igala people and the other people. So if it comes to a we and them thing, and the governor has not done much to break that by even his style of governance by the values of democracy he has delivered. If these people are seeing, okay, oh, this person, like one of my friends said, is chopping on our behalf, and you want him recalled for whatever reason, let's not go out. But I still insist, this governor, if he had been on the ground, giving values, paying salaries, doing everything he should, carrying roads as a governor, these people, he would have scored at least a higher percentage of a turnout. But because people are disconnected with him, all the workers in Kogi State, I can't remember the last time they were paid. There is nothing happening in Kogi beyond the government house that suggests that a governor who is responsible to the people is in charge.
So, and here we are. We have squandered money that could have helped the Kogi people.
Yes.
Recalling
against that backdrop,
it's not my mind, like they say.
Why do you expect a governor like that to even if he wanted to, instigate the recall of Dino Melaye?
That's what I'm saying. That is a
referendum
on the governor.
That's why I said it's a referendum
on the governor himself.
Yeah, but I still insist that it's not his call.
Okay. All right. Well, we have to move on from here. We know that Dino Melaye's case doesn't end here. Even after the recall failed, we're yet to see what comes next. Because people have gone on social media to describe him as Senator 1 week, 1 trouble.
So, I didn't say he's one, and Dino 1, federal government 0.
Nigerians are keeping scores. All right, let's move on from here to presidency and National Assembly face-off. Some Nigerian senators last week Thursday called for the impeachment of President Muhammadu Buhari for not seeking the National Assembly's approval before the withdrawal of $496 million used for the purchase of aircraft from the United States. Senator Matthew Urogide, representing Edo State, actually moved the motion, claiming that the president's move was a violation of the Constitution and thus he should face the consequences. All right. In defense, however, the presidency has come out to say that the letter sent a letter to